In a video a couple of months ago, I had recorded a new 8-track for a friend who had just put out his own album. I'll leave a link to that above. Well, that got me going down a rabbit hole of, well, are there any real labels putting out 8-tracks nowadays? Well, the answer is obviously yes, because I've got some of them here. I'm glad I decided to dig out my debit card and purchase these albums to take a look at, because I've discovered some music that I didn't know existed in some genres that I didn't know existed. So this will be a neat ride looking at new releases on 8-track. Stay tuned. So the first one that I came across was Pine Hill Records, and they appear to be a US-based small label that I love stuff like this, because I feel like this is where you can really discover some really niche products and niche groups that you may not hear or see or find otherwise. Now, when I first got to their site, they had a few more offerings at that time, but what I was really interested in was this Elevations album by Don Harris. Now, it's called, it's a 1987 album from what it says. It's Elevations, and it's available, it looks like, for the first time on a hand-numbered 12-inch vinyl record, and then they had 25 hand-numbered 8-track tapes, and the 8-track tapes are what really caught my attention. And then I looked at the description of it, and it says, you dig 90s video game soundtracks? That kind of caught my attention. Or maybe the SNES soundtrack. If that's your speed, this is for you. Dark, ambient, mysterious 1987 album on vinyl and 8-track tape for the first time. So I figured this was something that I really had to check out. I was fortunate because it looks like now they have sold out of the 25 hand-numbered 8-track tapes that they had produced for this album. If we go down to select options on this, the only option they have left, it looks like, is the 12-inch vinyl. So I wish I was reviewing this where it was still available, but if anybody ends up liking it, looks like they still have the vinyl album available. So you do at least have some type of, more retro way of listening to it. Now, the price on it when I bought this, I want to say the 8-track tape was around the same price as the album. I think it was $25 or $30, maybe $40. But I really wanted to, experience something that was produced, quote, new nowadays on the 8-track tape. And that seemed very, it seemed like it'd be something that I might enjoy. Now, I was kind of surprised when I got my package, because I'm going to try to pronounce it correctly just with my knowledge of, hopefully, if it's German, Gein and the Graverobbers. This actually showed up in the box as well, so we're going to review this one at the same time, but it looks like this one is actually still available on the 8-track, and they have a couple of different options with it, which I think was pretty cool. You can get one of each album, which is what we have today, but they also have multiple colors available on the 8-track cartridges, and you can buy the set with all of them. Now, I'm not sure this is going to necessarily be my style of music, but it does say that this is a dark surf album. So if that's a genre that you like, this might be right up your alley. But it says that these albums sound extra eerie on this format. So I'm kind of interested to hear it. It may be something that I end up liking. But yeah, there it is. They have the white, coffee, black, gray, and red for those 8-tracks, it looks like, and then the other album in blue, charcoal gray, black, pink, and red. And there are only 10 copies of each color per album in existence. So if this is a group that you like, that may actually be a neat way to collect some of their music and have something that other people don't have. So I ordered both of those, got them in. The next place that I had found was Maple Run Band, so let's check that one out. Now, Maple Run Band, I came across when I was doing my search for new albums on 8-track, and they're an Americana kind of a band from Vermont, and nice little website. I definitely suggest checking them out. But if we go to their shop, the album that I actually ended up purchasing from them was it used to be the Next Big Thing album. Let's see if we can find that. Here it is. $25, limited edition 8-track. I figured, may as well give it a shot. And I love their description. Yeah, you read that right. It's an 8-track. Continuous play, so you never have to flip the tape or stop listening. Sequenced for 8-track with a bonus track even. So I'm looking forward to listening to this. I've intentionally not listened to any of the bands that I got these 8-tracks from because I wanted to listen to them for the first time on the format that I actually purchased. Now, this one, when it came, actually came with a CD version of the album as well, which I thought was nice. I did not expect that. So I ended up with 2 physical copies of that album. And so let's take a look at the packaging and how all of these albums look in person, because they've all come in the mail. So let's take a look. Well, here's everything that I got in the mail. I am super happy about this. A nice selection of albums to take a look at. I think I want to start off with this one from Maple Run Band, which is their Used to Be the Next Big Thing album. Like I mentioned before, I was actually impressed and surprised to receive a CD copy of it in the package when I received the 8-track. I thought that was a nice touch. It's a nice album. It's in a cardboard sleeve. Nothing too fancy, but it's still appreciated nonetheless. But if we take a look at the 8-track, which is why we're all here, right? The 8-track is in a nice protective plastic case or box, which I thought was nice. They didn't really come in packaging like that back when 8-tracks were the latest, greatest thing. So you do have that nice package to protect your 8-track with. But it does come in a paper sleeve like you would expect an 8-track to come in back when they were new. And then here's our 8-track cartridge. Now, it's important, I think, to bear in mind that 8-track cartridges have not been made in forever. So there's no way they could have probably gotten a brand new cartridge to use, a new production cartridge for this album. So, the color on the cartridge is a little bit faded, I would say, but it's in really, really good shape. I think they took the time to pick cartridges that looked nice, that they could put their new label on, and it would be, 100% acceptable. I'm noticing inside that they did replace the pads inside the cartridge, so those are all brand new. The tape looks nice. It doesn't look like it's a worn out old tape that they just erased and put their album on. It looks like they went through the trouble to either re-spool new tape or at least find cartridges that were not used very much at all, because the tape looks perfect. The label on the front of it is nice. There's no bubbles or wrinkles in it. It's nicely printed, professionally printed. And it looks like this was copyright in 2022, so I may be a couple of years late since it's the beginning of 2024 in getting this, but I'm still excited to see this nonetheless. Now, if I look at the CD copy of the album compared to the 8-track, I can see that the title track, Used to Be the Next Big Thing, is the first one on both formats. But beyond that, the track order is different. So that tells me that they went through the trouble to time this out where everything fits a little bit better onto the 8-track, since you have this continuous loop in the 8-track. I'm hoping that they ran these all the way through and didn't fade anything out. And looking at the listing, it looks like they took the time to not do that awkward fade in between different programs. So I appreciate that too. That was one of the things about 8-track that I didn't like, was the fade outs and fade ins to the same song on a different track when they ran out of tape. So that looks good. Looks like there is a bonus track on the 8-track version hanging around, which is not on the CD. So looking forward to taking a listen to this. Now, next on the list is Elevations by Don Harris, which according to the website is an album or recording that was done in 1987. So this is the first time it had been released on 8-track. Now this was a limited edition, 25 8-tracks produced, and it looks like we were lucky enough to get number 13 of 25. I know there'll be people that look at stuff like this and go, oh, it might be collectible, don't open it. But I'm here to listen to it. I want to see what it sounds like, what a modern produced 8-track album sounds like. So we'll go ahead and get this thing open here. See if we can get this plastic wrap off. They did do a nice job shrink wrapping this album. I'm assuming, like the other one we looked at, that the cartridge may have some marks on it from previous use, but I'm hoping that, like the other one, they took the time to really do a good job and make this something special. So we've got about the same type of paper cardboard sleeve on top of the 8-track cartridge. Again, a nice job picking a cartridge that's in pretty good condition. I mean, there are a few marks on here from use, but we have to remember that this is a format that is really old. Now again, looking at the end of it, they did go ahead and replace the pads on the inside of this. It looks like the same kind of pads that were in the other one. Tape looks similar, looks like it's in good shape. The label on this one, very nice again, well put together. Looks like this one has 9 different songs on it. Doesn't say which track or which program they're on, so this might be one where we just listen all the way through. So what the album actually says on it about the music, and I'm looking forward to listening to this one. It says, Elevations lifts you to lush, far-off places. Warm acoustic chords, rich melodies, and untapped electronic sounds orchestrate together in a voyage deep within your own imagination. So they're really giving you the setup on that one. Hopefully it's not disappointing when we pop it in the machine. But that's the Elevations album by Don Harris, and that's a Pine Hill Records release. Well, finally on our 8-track new release journey, we've got these two here. These were ones that I had not ordered but ended up coming in my package, so I'm grateful to Pine Hill Records for including these two for us to listen to as well. And again, forgive me if my pronunciation is off. This is a group that I've never heard of. In the area where I live, this would be pronounced Gein and the Graverobbers, but if anybody's familiar with them and I'm wrong, let me know below. I don't want to butcher anybody's name just because I'm not familiar with them. And like I said before, I have kept myself from listening to anything about these albums or artists until this video, so that my reaction to it would be based upon the quality of the recording and these particular albums on 8-track. But to start off with, let's look at this one. This is the Passion of the Antichrist record. Looks like it has 13 different tracks on it. And this is the one that was, what did they refer to it as? Dark Surf. So I'm really interested to see what that is. I do have a number 34 sticker on here. I'm not sure if that was, number 34 out of a certain number produced. But on this one, again, we've got the same type of folded cardboard sleeve that the 8-track is in. It's a little tighter. So for this one, looking at it, looks like the pads have been replaced in this one. Same look on the tape. Nothing looks out of place. Definitely a reused cartridge. There are some marks and scuffs on this. And like I said, I'm not saying that to knock anybody. I wouldn't expect them to be perfect. I'm just glad that they went through, probably picked the best ones they could find. The sticker, the label on this one is outstanding. I love the way they included the album art on it. They've got every track. They've got the band members. Now this one says it was a super exclusive series. This is number 34 out of 50. So I guess that explains the sticker that was on the back of it, now that I can see this part. And it's, let's see, copyright 2023 Pine Hill Records. But it looks like this album may have been produced originally in 2005. The printing on that's kind of small for me to see. But yeah, that's kind of neat. So before we put this one in, I want to listen to both albums from this group at the same time. The second one is their Humanoids of the Deep album. Now this one's got a more natural cardboard sleeve with it. And it looks like it's all one piece. It's glued. So I actually like this better than I do the more, you know, kind of folded, you know, thinner paper. Real nice thick case on that one. And oh, look at that. That's got a really nice label on it. That's almost a glossy, almost photo type paper label on there. Nice photo from the band on there. Nice Pine Hill Records logo. Super exclusive series. But this label actually extends all the way around to the back. And we've got kind of some cartoonish drawings for each of the band members on there. Looks like this was number 25 out of 50. So this one, really nice. Copyright 2023 Pine Hill Records. Looks like maybe this was originally from 2000. Again, that printing's very, very small on there. Hard for me to read. But that's nice. That's a nice looking album. The tape is a little bit lighter in color on this one compared to the others. Again, it looks like the pads have been replaced. This cartridge is actually in a little bit better condition, I think, than some of the others. But overall, it's probably my favorite treatment of the album art and the label that I've seen so far on this round of albums. That's nice. I always wondered why on a lot of 8-tracks they didn't make use of that back flat area to just extend that artwork all the way around. And looks like they thought of that on this one. So very nice. Let's take a listen to these and get some copyright friendly snippets and see what we think of this album. All right, well, as we start off, we'll take a listen to everything here. I'm going to capture a direct feed of the audio from my Toyo CHR 335 8-track player recorder directly into Samplitude Pro X7. It'll be captured directly to digital through my Motu M2 capture device, and I'm going to capture that at 48 kilohertz at 16-bit, just regular what is considered CD quality, or a little bit better. We know it's not going to be a super high fidelity format. 8-track wasn't that, so we'll try to overlay those direct captures in with this video so you can get an idea of what these sound like in person. So I'm hoping they're really, really good. I'm going to try to keep the clips short so that we don't end up with a copyright strike on these and the audio wiped out or the video taken down or worse. So I'm going to do my best to progress through the tracks in a short enough time period where you can hear what they sound like, but we don't end up with any problems from it. If you like the video, if you like the albums, then absolutely go buy them. That would be the point. But these are not sponsored videos in any way. I bought these all myself to review them here on the channel because I was interested in what new 8-tracks that were being produced sounded like. You know, it's been a dead format for years. So, well, let's start off with the Maple Run Band album. This is the one that I had purchased first. There used to be the Next Big Thing album. So we'll go ahead and start off with this one, and let's see what it sounds like.
But the phone calls, they never came, and nobody remembers my name. Can you throw me a buck? Loretta, won't you please come back home? Hang around. Kathy was a bit
Okay. Yeah, I'd say Americana type music fits that genre. That's not bad. It kind of gives me the, kind of a throwback to the singer-songwriter stuff from the 60s and 70s. Nice tone. Obviously didn't expect it to be the highest quality in the world, but I think they did well with what they, probably had. I couldn't imagine this was done on anything other than just an 8-track recorder off of their digital master. So I don't think that's bad at all. Nice album, nice sound to it. I think this will probably be one that I end up listening to, here in the studio. So very nice. All right, let's move on to the Elevations album, the one that's by Don Harris. This one is the one where they say that it's lush, far-off places, warm acoustic chords, rich melodies, untapped electronic sounds orchestrating together. So this is the one that had the kind of the big send-up on it. So let's see what this one sounds like. This was the Pine Hill Records limited edition. That's got the little bit darker tape on it. Looks pretty nice. Let's give it a try. Yeah, not too bad. Definitely not too bad for an 8-track from a 1987 recording on a brand new 8-track. I don't think that's too terribly bad. All right, well, let's give a shot to these new the ones that I did not expect to get. Now we'll start off with this Gein and the Graverobbers, Passion of the Antichrist. I was afraid to play that. I don't know what's going to be on there, but let's give it a shot here and see what this dark surf type music is. Well, that's actually interesting. I didn't know what dark surf was, and I can kind of see why they call it that now. That's interesting. That's not what I expected. All right, let's try their other album. This was the Humanoids from the Deep album, the one that had the nice album art on it. See if it's a similar style here. Wait for it to play through the lead in.
You ever think when the earth rolls by that someday you are going?
Okay, that's really interesting. Uh, I don't really know how to describe that. It's exactly what they said it was. It's kind of a dark surf kind of a style of music that I don't know. I can't say I dislike it. I'm gonna have to listen to that a little bit longer and try to figure that out, because that's a new genre and style of music to me. Pretty neat. Let's roll into the wrap up. You know, I would have to say that I think it's a win anytime that you can discover a new style of music that you had no idea existed. And I think that's what I've done with this particular purchase. The Elevations album, definitely what they described. It's kind of a cross between like electronic music and almost like old video game soundtracks. Really kind of a neat neat album to have. I'm glad I have that in my collection. The Maple Run Band, another one that was exactly what I expected it to be. Kind of Americana music, singer-songwriter stuff, nice sound to it. You know, pretty well executed album, I would say. I'm going to listen to the CD version of that too, just to kind of see what the differences are. The most surprising one, the one that I thought that I would just absolutely not like, because looking at the album art, I thought maybe it was some kind of a doom metal, thrasher, growling type of music. And from what I can hear on these, it's not that at all. It's like 60s surf music that's kind of darker. It's interesting. I'm definitely going to have to listen to that more. I'm really impressed. I'm glad those got sent along with the Elevations album, kind of as a little bonus for me to take a look at and review. So yeah, that's one that is still available, and they've even got the super big set available on that too, with all the different colors and everything. But yeah, I am totally blown away. So my overall takeaway from this is there are lots, not lots, there are some small, independent labels and groups that are putting out their albums on these dead formats. I think maybe they're trying to get exposure with it. Maybe they like the old format. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just glad they're doing it. It gives me something different to look at. But, if you like, the music that these artists put out, regardless of the format, if they're putting out a physical copy of it and you like them, I think it's important with any artist to support the artist, buy physical media when you can, add it to your collection so you have something that you can pick up and hold and look at, regardless of what it is. To me, that's an important part of music, is the experience that you get with the physical media. So those are my thoughts today. Let me know what you guys think. Have you heard of any of these artists before? Do you own any of their albums? What are your thoughts? Leave your comments below. This has been, kind of a learning experience for me. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I, jumped off of that and into that rabbit hole and got my debit card out and bought these, because I'm pleasantly surprised with the results. Well, until next time, that's all I've got for you. I've been Chad here at the Vintage Electronics channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. And make sure you comment, like the videos. I really like to interact with all of you as much as I possibly can. So until next time, happy listening.